Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. Liverpool have just beaten Burnley at Turf Moor by 2-1 thanks to a fantastic, beautiful, brilliant, last-minute diving header from none other than Ragnar Klavan, potentially Liverpool's fifth choice centre-back now that Virgil van Dijk has officially arrived at the club today. Managed to rescue 2 points after it looked like we'd thrown it away only minutes before, and it was an absolutely fantastic win. I mean, look, Liverpool did not play well in that game. It was really low quality from both teams, really. Burnley stifled us incredibly well. And to be honest, all the way through the game, I was thinking, you know what? I wouldn't actually mind a draw here, you know, because Burnley are a very good side and they're very good at taking points off of the top sides in the Premier League. It's also at Turf Moor as well. 48 hours after an incredibly important battling performance against Leicester as well. It wouldn't actually be a huge surprise to see Liverpool drop a couple of points, and I wouldn't necessarily have minded that much. I mean, when you consider we had a similar scenario last season against Sunderland away where we completely bottled it, and that was a terrible draw. That was a terrible result for Liverpool. A draw today wouldn't have been that bad, and I had to keep repeating that over and over in my head after Burnley equalised. I was going, a draw isn't that bad, a draw isn't that bad, a draw is fine. But who needs draws when you can win games like that? And it's absolutely massive because, like I said, with the Sunderland game last season, in a very sort of similar set of circumstances, Liverpool drew that game, and that is kind of what led to the slump. You know, it sort of just knocked the winds out of our sails. The players suddenly lost all confidence, it seemed, and it took a month and a half, really, to build it all back up. So it's absolutely massive, just in the context of the rest of Liverpool's season from here on in, that we won that game, we got 3 points, we didn't give up, we fought back, and we got a massive late winner that should hopefully help us kick on for the second half of the season. So, going through the goals individually, Sadio Mane's goal was absolutely fantastic. You know, Mane again was really struggling in this game. He's had a really tough patch of form for about the last month or so now. He just he's looked quite off the pace. He hasn't quite matched the level that the rest of the Fab Four are playing at, and it was a big opportunity for him today with the rest of those players out of the starting 11 and Coutinho and Salah rested completely, for Mane to show that he could still be the main man for Liverpool and he could still be the difference maker. And for the first 60 minutes, for the first hour, it really didn't look like he was taking his opportunity. He was struggling, he wasn't being influential enough, he was slow on the ball, he just wasn't getting involved in the right places at the right time, and he never really looked like influencing the match and scoring the all-important goal for Liverpool. But thankfully, Alexander-Arnold crossed the ball in, Mane took it in with a touch, and as soon as Mane took it in, I was annoyed because I suddenly thought, you know, that ball looked like it was going to Lallana. It looked like Lallana had some great momentum behind it, and Mane's just snatched it off of him and killed the chance. But no, Sadio Mane just turns and with his weaker foot just rockets it into the top of the net. It was a fantastic goal. I'm absolutely made up for Sadio Mane. You know, I've been thinking for the last few weeks now, if there's any Liverpool player that I really want to score, it's Sadio Mane, because we know how good he is. We absolutely love him as a player. We love him as fans. And it was really annoying and really disappointing to see that he was struggling. So hopefully this can be the catalyst for Sadio Mane to kick on and get back to the performance levels that he was showing earlier on in the season and last season as well. Because I don't think this goal alone is enough to turn it around. You know, he has to keep performing game in, game out after this. But like I said, hopefully this can be the catalyst for change for Sadio Mane and he can return to the Mane that we all know and love. And then after that, Liverpool actually seemed to be doing a decent job of seeing the game out. You know, we played on the front foot still. We didn't invite Burnley pressure on because, as we all know, Liverpool are just not the kind of team that can park the bus. We can't sit back and soak up pressure. So the best way for Liverpool to actually defend a lead is, as the old saying goes, attack is the best form of defence. To just keep pressing, keep looking for goals and keep the opposition pinned back. And unfortunately, we just sort of ran out of gas over the last 10 minutes or so. Burnley came onto us and we conceded a goal from Goodmanson. Maybe, I don't really know who it was. It was really disappointing from Joe Gomez. You know, he was just stood absolutely stock still, no idea that that Burnley player was creeping in at the back post, and it was really disappointing. We've seen Joe Gomez do this a couple of times. He did it against Arsenal as well for the Alexis Sanchez goal that got Arsenal back into the game. And as much as a brilliant player Joe Gomez is, and personally I think in the long term he will end up being the first choice partner for Virgil van Dijk at centre back, it is an aspect of his game that he needs to get rid of. But given how quickly Joe Gomez has developed as a player and the fact that it is only one aspect that he needs to fix, I'm hoping that he can kick that habit and he'll be back to his normal performance levels before we know it. And yet, like I said earlier, after that goal went in, I was just telling myself, you know, a point is an okay result. A point is an okay result. But then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain floats the ball in. Dejan Lovren, actually a really, really good header. You know, Liverpool centre-backs are not actually that good in the air in terms of attacking headers. Too many times this season we've seen corners and set pieces come into the box and Matip or Lovren or Klavan has connected with their head and just done absolutely nothing with it, and it's been really, really disappointing. Lovren gets really good contact on that. You know, it's not in an easy position for him. He's got his back to goal. The ball is floated in rather than driven in. He manages to flick it behind him, and then Ragnar Klavan, with a Burnley player coming in to try and clear it, just makes sure, gets the tiniest little bit on it and heads it in, makes it 2-1. And it was absolutely fantastic. You know, it's just great to see this never say die attitude that I think was missing from Liverpool last season. And a lot of it is to do with, you know, rotation and having players who are fitter. I think Burnley had just knackered themselves all the way through the game trying to defend and then trying to get that equaliser. They got it late on, and I think it's just the matter of the fact that with 48 hours between the games, Burnley don't have as big a squad as Liverpool. They haven't been able to rotate as much, so Liverpool just had a tiny little bit more left in the tank. So I think for anyone who has criticised Jurgen Klopp for rotation in the past, just look at that game, just look at Liverpool getting that result up against all the odds after conceding a late equaliser. Those are the benefits of rotating your squad and keeping players fresh, and keeping players fit. And it was an absolutely, just a fantastic win. I'm just absolutely chuffed. It's great to see in the space of 2 days, Liverpool have ground out 2 massive, massive wins that, like I said, should hopefully help us kick on and improve in the second half of the season. So next up, it is of course the game against Everton. They're currently playing at the moment as I'm recording, so I don't know how they're getting on, but hopefully Liverpool can once again let that result give them all the hope and galvanise them that they need to go into that game against Everton in the FA Cup on Friday night and get a win to avenge that result earlier on in the season at Anfield with the draw after the dodgy penalty. But until then, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I'll be back soon with the pre-match content for the game against Everton in the FA Cup. Until then, like the video if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few days. Don't forget to follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter, and I'll see you in a few days for the build-up content for the game against Everton. Bye for now.